This hasn't happened to your program or this program in a long time. How do you feel? How do you explain what happened today?
Yeah, I feel awful. Just got done talking to the team, and when you work this game 365 days out of the year and you come up short, it's a failure, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. I think we didn't run the ball very well in offense, and hurt us with penalties, and then we didn't stop the run on the other side of the ball.
Over here, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, with conditions like this, with an opponent like this, there's a mental challenge that goes into a game like this. How do you feel like, considering the penalties, considering the mistakes that you guys did with that mental challenge?
Well, both teams have to play with the conditions, and whether that played into it or not, I don't know. But I just know that we didn't get the job done today.
Over here in the left row middle, Jared Smalley, WCMH.
Ryan, can you explain the impact Michigan's run game had on the game? They only threw it 19 times, but the way that they were able to manufacture first downs, how did that keep going to heels?
Yeah, you feel like they control the game when that happens. They just stayed on schedule the whole time, and that was the recipe I'm sure they had to win the game. And we weren't able to stop that, and that's really very disappointing, especially when you know they're going to do it. So, got to take a hard look and figure out why that was.
We're going to go over here to the right, Dan Holt, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, it seems like last week Michigan State, you guys went big and everything's looking for you guys. It seems like it just wasn't today. I mean, is there anything you can point to and look at just why things didn't click this week the way they did last week?
When you take care of the football, you give yourself a chance. When you play clean, don't have penalties, you give yourself a chance. When you run the ball and stop the run, you give yourself a chance. Not all those things happen today. And when that happens and they're controlling the game, controlling the ball, and we're not getting stops on defense, all those things add up. And certainly didn't play our best football on offense, but when you feel like they're controlling the game on the other side of the ball, it gets frustrating, and then it kind of got sideways at the end. We actually let them score there in their last drive when they were inside the 10. Otherwise, it's going to take me and run up the clock. So, but in the end, we didn't get it done.
Gentleman right behind Dan. Yes, sir.
Talk about Michigan. You were geared up for Michigan's offensive line and Haskins, but you probably performed as well as they have all year. Assess the player of Michigan's line and Haskins.
No, obviously when you're on schedule like that, and you're running hard, and a lot of good things are going to happen, and they got to figure out and get on the film and figure out why that was on our side of the ball. But certainly, hats off to them. They did a good job.
Going to go over here to the left, Bill Landis, The Athletic.
Ryan, not scoring before the half and then coming right out in the first half, and they stop you on 3rd and 2 there, I think it was, and then they score. But how did you felt like that changed things? How do you think you guys responded to the game sort of, getting determined there a little bit?
I thought we did a good job right after that of kind of responding. We kept fighting, but we weren't able to turn the tides. And like you said, that's always a big part of the game. And I felt like, even getting 3 points at the end of the half and getting the ball back, if we could have come down and scored with that first possession, we really would have got some momentum going, but we didn't. And then they came right down and scored. So, and then you just felt like you never could get the ball back on offense, and that's a bad feeling as well. You start to force it a little bit too much and don't establish the run when you're in that situation. So, this one hurts.
Over here to the far right, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Right, TJ has been pretty protected all year. His coach traveled into, he's just kind of chilling back there. He got sacked 4 times. Do you feel like your offensive line was getting the push they needed to get today?
When you throw it, I guess we threw it 49 times, and there was more attempts than that, because we had a couple scrambles and some sacks. So that's too much. That's putting a lot of stress, especially with the D-line that these guys have. So, and there were some penalties, and then that was really frustrating, because that got us off schedule on offense. And really, when you look at the games we struggled, that's what's got us off schedule. And so, I don't know. I think when you throw that much, you're going to put yourself at risk, and I felt like we had to down the stretch, because we weren't really getting much, in the run game. We kind of had to keep it going. But we'll look at the film and try to figure all that out.
Over here to the left, Austin Ward, Letterman Row.
Ryan, when you look at this today, I feel like you probably thought you made a lot of improvements since week 2. The penalties, couldn't get off the field with the rush defense again. Did you have any sense that some of these things could come back and get you, or that you thought maybe you had them fixed?
Well, you make progress and you keep growing, but in any week, if you don't show up and do it, this is what happens. And you know, this 6-game run was a real run for us, week in and week out, and there was a lot of good play in there. But, you know, especially this game, I mean, if you don't bring it in all areas, you know, you can get exposed. And just like you see week in and week out, you know, this is what can happen if you don't play your best game. And we did not play our best game today, and so this is what you get.
I believe, I'm not sure if it's Justin over here, but gentleman over here to the right.
Andrew Thomas, I'm live. Coach, you seem gracious and calm right now, I guess, but can you speak to the emotions given that you haven't been on this side, in this rivalry in a long time?
I mean, it hurts, yeah. I mean, it's certainly, when you live this year round, I mean, it hurts. And there's so much riding on it, as we know. And it's going to leave a mark for a while.
And we're going to end with Dan Hope, Lebanon Warriors.
Ryan, since you've been here, you guys have been to the Big Ten Championship every year. This isn't a position you've been in where, regular season just ends abruptly like this. What do you say to the team? How do you guys move forward from this when you don't have that to look forward to?
There's not much to say because you don't plan for this type of thing, but, we'll have to, get on the bus, head back to Columbus and figure out what's next. You don't have really had time to process all of that. But I know for, especially for the younger guys who have had to play a lot this year, there's a lot to be learned from this. And we're not there right now. This thing is still fresh and it hurts. So we'll get back on the bus, head to Columbus and figure out what's next.
Great. Coach, thank you very much. Folks, we'll get some players in here shortly.